Well, again, maybe that may well happen in other households. Obviously and naturally, parents or carers need to set the ground rules and what's happening and what should not happen. In other words, little children should not leave the house at night on their own. It is, I understand the issue that you're raising here. For many families up and down the country, it's a fun evening. No doubt, it can be quite expensive. But on the other hand, if people are quite intelligent about it, it can be dirt cheap. It can be incredibly cheap to make up a costume and paint faces and so on. For those who come round to people's houses, tricking or treating, let's hope that there's no tricks these days. It can be extremely inexpensive to hand them over, for example, a small bag of sweets, 15 pence each person, or maybe a bar of chocolate.
And how do
once a year?
Do you? They do say in some areas that if people are prepared to take part in this, they put a pumpkin in their window. Or do you go around and just knock on everybody's door?
Well, actually, for our very young children, we literally do 2 or 3 doors. And yes, we would just do to the very closest neighbours who know us, and actually we prime them. This is what we're going to do. But yes, if kids are intending going out for the whole evening, then yes, I think if they're going to a larger radius, then they should be quite circumspect as to whose doors they knock on. I have to say, when I was a kid, I think there was less discussion about it. I can remember going out with my brother. I think I was about 7 years old, and he was a few years older than me. We went out for 3.5 hours. Yeah. We made a fortune.
I'm sure you did. Just lucky. You were very lucky you didn't knock on my door. That's all I can tell you. Listen, putting your economist hat on for one moment, let me ask you a serious question. And that is that we're hearing today that a lot of people are going to face real problems with heating their homes in the winter because of the hikes in energy prices. How come so many people seem to have so much money to spend on this? £285 million this year, up from about 12 million in 2001. That's a lot of money. Yes.
The cost of living in this country, and indeed in many other Western countries, is absolutely enormous. And the media focuses on individual issues, like, for instance, you're raising the cost of heating and lighting, which is absolutely massive. And in some ways, it might be seen as an outrage if only we knew what was really going on. It's interesting that we don't. I think ultimately comes down to successive government policies, which ultimately have been inflationary. Until there's a radical change in our economic system, we're not going to have a lower cost of living. It's going to, while the cost of living continues to rise, our incomes are going to continue to be hammered, because if you think about it, if the cost of living and the cost of running businesses keeps going up, then that affects corporate profits, and therefore ultimately means that we don't get paid as much as we need to continue raising our standard of living. So it's a very big picture issue. I recently wrote a blog on it, actually, a blog post on it, that one of the reasons, to answer your question, why there is money around, it's not because we're rolling in it. On the contrary, I'll tell you, one of the reasons, it's from the British Bankers Association write-up just a couple of days ago. The amount of unsecured lending, which is like personal loans, overdrafts, car loans, kitchen loans, they are rising year on year. So the reason why people have got money is because they've taken on more debt.
Well, I'm not
Go
sure.
figure.
I'm not sure where they're getting their loans from. The banks don't seem to be doing it. Maybe it's just buying cars or getting payday loans.
That's a fact.
Okay. All right, Jonathan. Nice to talk to you. You better go off and start getting your costume ready and carving out your pumpkin and stuff. Jonathan Davis, who is an economist and a wealth manager who is celebrating Halloween today. Are you? Okay. I want to know. What do you think of it?